Imagine stepping into this really vibrant classroom, the air just buzzing with curiosity, learning's happening, but it's through play, through discovery. It feels like an adventure. Have you ever wondered what really goes on in those first few years of school, especially with the British curriculum? Well, today we're going to dive deep into the early years foundation stage, the EYFS. Specifically, we're unpacking FS1 and FS2. What are they? What do they mean? Our mission really is to cut through the jargon. What do kids actually learn? And why is this time so important? Think of this as your shortcut, yeah? Getting clear on FS1, FS2, and what's actually in the syllabus for each. Okay, so let's just jump right in then. FS1, FS2. In the British curriculum, what are we actually talking about here? How do they connect?
Right. Well, what's fascinating is how they're designed to, flow into each other. FS1 Foundation Stage 1, that's generally what you'd call nursery. It's for the 3 to 4-year-olds. It's their first taste of learning concepts, but mainly through exploring through play. It looks quite unstructured sometimes.
Nursery, got it.
Then you have FS2, Foundation Stage 2. That's for children from 4 onwards, often called reception. This stage is really crucial. It acts as a bridge, preparing them for primary school. You start seeing more focus on essential literacy, numeracy, social skills, and both FS1 and FS2, they're part of that bigger picture, the early years foundation stage, the EYFS. That covers kids usually from 3 up to 5.
So FS1 lays the groundwork.
Exactly. The FS1 syllabus lays that foundation, and then FS2 carefully builds on it. It helps make that jump to year 1 feel, well, less like a huge leap. More natural.
Right. So it's clearly more than just, letting kids play with tools all day. There's a real method behind it, even if it looks a bit like fun chaos.
Yeah.
What's the core idea, the philosophy driving what kids learn? Because play-based learning sounds great, but how does the EYFS make sure it's actually structured, that there's real progress?
That's a really good point because it is structured, very much so. The EYFS framework isn't just subjects, it's holistic.
Yeah.
It focuses on 7 key areas of development. Think of them like pillars supporting the whole child.
7 areas.
Yeah, 7. For instance, you've got communication and language. Now, that's not just talking. It's about building vocabulary, confidence, listening skills.
Yeah.
Through stories, conversations, really understanding.
And it goes beyond just language, right, into their physical world, too. I imagine physical development is key.
Absolutely. And it's not just about running around, though that's important.
Yeah.
It's also about refining those fine motor skills.
Yeah.
Holding a crayon properly, using scissors.
Ah, the tricky scissor skills.
Exactly. And also gross motor skills, climbing, balancing. It's all crucial for coordination, body awareness.
Okay. What else?
Then there's personal, social, and emotional development, PSED. Honestly, this might be one of the most vital. This is where they learn the real bedrock of getting along. Sharing, cooperating, understanding their own feelings, expressing them properly. It's huge for self-control, empathy.
Foundational stuff.
Totally. And then for more sort of academic readiness, you have literacy.
Yeah.
That introduces early reading, writing.
Yeah.
There's a big emphasis on phonics, but also just the magic of stories.
So fostering a love for books, not just decoding.
Precisely. And mathematics is in there too. Basic numbers, counting, simple problem solving, usually through very hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
They also explore understanding the world. This is really broad in nature, maybe simple technology, different cultures. It sparks that curiosity about everything around them.
That sounds quite expansive.
It is. And the last one is expressive arts and design. This often surprises people. It's not just painting. It includes music, dance, role play, building things that lets kids express themselves creatively, try out ideas. And the key thing, really, is that both FS1 and FS2 weave this play-based approach through all these areas. It's purposeful play, carefully linked to developmental goals.
Okay, purposeful play. I like that. It makes sense. It's not just fun, it's designed to be effective.
Spot on. It helps build those crucial brain connections needed for later learning.
Right. And if we zoom out, look at the bigger picture. You said this stage is profoundly impactful. It really makes you ask, why is this early education seen as so, well, non-negotiable?
Because it genuinely shapes a child's ability to learn, how they interact with others, their confidence. It echoes through their whole life. There's research. Gov.uk actually puts it very bluntly. Early education is too important to be left to chance.
That's quite a statement. Too important to be left to chance.
It is. It signals that this isn't just a nice extra. It's fundamental.
But how do teachers actually ensure that? Ensure it's not left to chance, especially with all the play. How do they track progress?
Through careful observation, mostly, and providing support tailored to each child. Numerous studies show that kids in structured early years programs, like those following the EYFS, consistently develop better language skills, social skills, cognitive abilities.
Better than kids who don't attend.
Generally, yes. The data points towards significant advantages. And it's not just academics we're talking about. It's resilience, problem solving, emotional smarts. FS1 and FS2 provide that essential, rounded foundation. They prepare kids not just for year one subjects, but for being capable, confident learners, socially and emotionally too.
I'm really interested in how these big ideas, these 7 areas, actually look day to day. Can you give us a peek inside a typical FS1 day? What does that playful structure actually involve in nursery?
Yeah, absolutely. FS1, the syllabus there, is really geared towards nurturing that natural curiosity through hands-on stuff. So a day might often start with circle time. Everyone together, singing songs, listening to a story, maybe sharing news, great for communication, listening.
Yes, communal start.
Exactly. Then you'd see loads of sensory play.
Hmm.
Sand, water, Play-Doh, different textures, shapes, sounds. And this isn't just messing about, it's building really complex neural pathways. Exploring textures helps with problem solving, abstract thinking,
Yeah.
much more than just being told something.
So it's engaging their brains on lots of levels, not just keeping them occupied.
Precisely. And outdoor play is huge. Running, climbing, balancing, all vital for those gross motor skills and coordination. Even early number and letter work is woven in. Maybe interactive games, spotting letters, counting things during play, stories that get them thinking about characters or what happens next.
Integrated learning them.
Yes, very much so. And a massive focus is on the social and emotional side. Learning to interact, share, say how they feel during these playtimes. They start understanding give and take, turn-taking, building those first friendships. The main goal in FS1 is really fostering independence, building confidence, and keeping that curiosity alive, all within an environment that feels safe, structured, but also really playful.
Okay, so once those foundations are taking root in FS1, the journey moves gently into FS2, reception. You said that's the big step in preparing for primary school. How does the focus shift there while still keeping that holistic, independent vibe?
Yeah, the shift into FS2 involves a slightly more structured feel, but exploration is still absolutely key. An FS2 classroom often looks a bit different. You'll see more specific resources set up to encourage focused learning, but still through play. Like construction corners aren't just for fun building. They're set up to pose little problems to solve.
Like engineering challenges
Yeah.
almost?
Kind of. You'll have dedicated numeracy and literacy zones, maybe with specific games or activities. Cozy reading corners are really important to encourage that love of books. And sensory activities definitely continue. They're still great for cognitive development and fine motor skills.
So still playful, but maybe the activities have slightly more directed learning goals linked to getting ready for year one.
That's a good way to put it. The curriculum goals become more explicit in FS2. There's usually a strong phonics and sounds program. This helps kids systematically learn to recognize letters, blend sounds, and build real confidence in starting to read.
The building blocks of reading.
Exactly. And writing skills development moves on too, from just making marks or drawing towards forming letters correctly, maybe even building simple sentences. For numeracy skills, they dig a bit deeper into basic math number recognition up to higher numbers, simple addition, subtraction, looking at patterns. The physical development program also continues, refining motor skills, balance, coordination further.
Still important.
Oh yes, and there's still a big emphasis on independence and self-care, helping kids manage lunchtimes, getting coats on, washroom routines independently, navigating slightly more complex social situations, all really important for the more structured primary school day.
Right. So we've taken this journey then through FS1 and FS2. It really paints a picture of a very comprehensive play-based approach in the British curriculum. It seems designed to gently but really effectively guide children into formal schooling, building those foundations, like you said, but making it fun, engaging, setting them up not just for year one, but hopefully for a love of learning.
Absolutely. And that really brings us to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to mull over. How might this kind of early education, this holistic play-based approach that really values exploration and social emotional growth just as much as academic skills, how might that shape not just a child's school years, but their whole lifelong approach to learning, to being curious, to tackling challenges? What does it really tell us about the value we place, or maybe should place, on play? Not just as fun, but as a fundamental driver of human development. Something to think about.